Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a review of today's price action and some algorithmic dissection from what occurred in the market today. So if we get right into this, we're going to talk about what occurred this morning and what we were talking about in our pre-market preparation call inside of our Discord. We had multiple reasons today to be cautious heading into 9:30 open, and we wanted to wait and let that opening range play out to avoid any sort of chop, consolidation, unfavorable conditions, stickiness in price. As you can see here, before 9:30 open today, we already had both London high and London low purged. That is a reason to be cautious entering New York opening session. We had large previous day expansion with over a 300 plus point move on NASDAQ from Thursday's low to Thursday's high. We had major buy side objectives met the previous day. ES was making a new all-time high, and as you guys recall, NASDAQ was also taking out major buy-side liquidity pools that we have been targeting for some time now. We had a no red folder news day, and we were also inside of previous days or Thursday's range. So understanding all of these points that you see on the screen here, we want to be patient in general with our trading, but especially when we have these conditions, we really want to let that opening range play out, to be patient, to get new information from price, to get our 930 fair value gap, see what the opening range high and opening range low is, see if we can get a 950 macro power of 3 setup, etc., etc., etc. When we have situations like this, you don't want to be rushing into a setup right upon 9:30 open, 9:35, 9:40. You really want to wait for at least that 950 macro to start getting involved and start hunting setups. So if we continue forward here, suboptimal conditions. You can see since Wednesday's low, NASDAQ is in a huge 645 point range, large expansion. And this is a 15-minute chart. Right here, this is 9:15, just to depict what occurred before 9:30 open, kind of what we discussed on the previous slide. You can see we have these relative equal highs or engineered buy side liquidity, and we have London low here, but even look at these relative equal lows here and here. Those were all swept before 9:30 open, okay? This would have been a great target for longs if they were left upon 9:30 open, but it was not. So we have to, remain patient and understand the profile that we are in, okay? All of this is reason for potential seek and destroy. So let's continue forward. Based on what we've discussed thus far in this lesson, let's talk about the opening range filter. Okay, the opening range is 9:30 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, but the opening range filter, you want to at least wait till the 950 macro to look for any setups, as we've already discussed. Okay, when we have that potential seek and destroy protocol, you really don't want to be getting involved, pushing your edge, over trading. Have as much confidence in your trading during situations like this, opposed to when we enter that macro window, as we'll see, and as I'm sure a lot of you guys recall beautifully during today's action. So as you can see here, if you're applying this opening range filter and you understand the significance of the 930 fair value gap, right? The first fair value gap after this 930 open, which is right here, and note that there's a volume imbalance, I'm including that in there. You can say, well, here, right, we close below, go short now. But then we close back above, okay, go long. Okay, back below, go short, right? This opening range filter, when we have seek and destroy protocol, is going to allow you to avoid all of that, avoid all this chop, avoid all these unnecessary losses. And in general, you're just exercising patience in your trading and waiting for high probability setups. So the market is waiting to move. Why? Let's look at price action here and some of the annotations that I have marked on the chart. This is macro power of 3, an algorithmic delivery at its core. If you can understand what is occurring on this chart right here, you are 10 times ahead of the game. Again, NASDAQ's 1-minute chart, and note the key levels on my chart here on the right side. New day opening gap, high, new day opening gap, low, midnight opening price, and 9:30 opening price. Follow my cursor to more of the middle of your screen. Macro opening price, that will be always annotated on my chart as MO, macro open. You can just see the interval of the 950 to 1010 macro window annotated with this yellow box up here, okay? Again, we discussed in the previous slide, and you can see here, the choppiness of that opening range filter, 930 to 950, okay? We're not seeing the signatures that we want to see in relation to the 930 fair value gap. Again, if you wanted to go short here to target this sell side liquidity, these equal lows, in yesterday's previous day AM session low, which we discussed in our pre-market prep today, you would want to see us close below and then stay below and not close back above, but we do that. right? But then we also close below. And then right here, what occurs? Right at the start of the 950 macro, we're looking for macro power of 3 to target these clear sell side liquidity pools. We ran buy side over here, okay? We ran a swing high here, and now look at what's occurring during the 950 macro. Right at 950, we deliver above macro's opening price, we sweep buy side liquidity, and look at what the bodies are doing here. We're seeing manipulation and respect of a significant inefficiency. What is this significant inefficiency? Back over to the right side. Today's new day opening gap. See how beneficial it is to understand what inefficiencies are significant to us, and all we are waiting for are signatures and delivery like this during these macro time windows. So we're not wasting our bullets during 930 to 950 getting chopped up here. We were patient, and since we were patient during that 930 to 950 time window, we're getting rewarded for our patience and our ability to read price and identify order flow and identify a trade setup. Okay, so we're seeing that manipulation occur. We're seeing respect of a significant inefficiencies. Again, we're wicking outside and above the new day opening gap, but look at the bodies close within it. After the manipulation has taken place, what do we need to see occur? We need to see us close back below the next significant inefficiency. If we're trying to go short to the sell side liquidity pool and yesterday's AM session low, we need to close back below the 930 fair value gap now, because we know the significance of it, especially since it is during that 950 macro window. Okay, we close below, we open, and this wick back up into it, that's your short entry. Okay, you can put a hard stop above this high, and you can do a manual close. You really don't want to see it close back above the 930 fair value gap again, because manipulation has occurred already for macro power of 3, and we close back below the 930 fair value gap during the macro. Now you want to see us start to operate and start to spool, since we had the buy side manipulation above macro opening price. So we close below, and now look how during the macro window, after the manipulation, we're seeing the signatures and price in relation to the 930 fair value gap that we want to see for clean, efficient sell side delivery. We open, we wick up into it virtually, on this case, zero drawdown. This is not to, portray the fact that all of your trades are going to have, very minimal drawdown like this. But when you see this type of delivery, it's such good confirmation after we start to expand away that you're on side. Okay, open, come up into the 930 fair value gap, expand to the first target, chop around a bit. Eventually, as you can see, we get down to yesterday's AM session low. Again, these algorithmic signatures that are occurring here, and really what occurred at the start of the 950 macro, exactly at 950, if you can understand this, right? What's inside of this imaginary box above this line I have here, annotating macro opening price, up to the high that's made here inside of this window. If you can understand that, all that is required for you and your success in your trading and the consistency that you're really looking for is patience and discipline. Being able to handle a loss, not going on tilt and just waiting for the next great setup, for macro power of 3, for algorithmic signatures, for the market to show you where it wants to go and when during a macro window. Okay. On top of this, stripping it back down to its core to, simple framework. The best shorts come above what? 930 opening price and midnight opening price. See where this manipulation is occurring? Above midnight opening price, above 930 opening price. See where this entry is being offered to smart money above 930 opening price. So let all the traders that don't understand the power of a macro get chopped up in here and get frustrated and hit their max trade rule by the time it's really time to execute. This is time and price at its core meeting each other. And this is the benefit of being an ICT trader, of understanding the power of time. Okay, let's continue forward. Again, another beautiful example of macro power of 3. And I really want to put your focus on the 1150 macro. So of course, the 1150 macro is 11:50 a.m. Eastern time to 12:10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, as you can see, and as we just discussed, upon the opening range in the first portion of the AM session, we had sell side delivery, but what do we leave in its wake? Clear relative equal highs, and where are we delivering to? Okay, of course, as we just mentioned now, we're far below 930's opening price and midnight opening price. And if you recall from our pre-market prep This was our 4-hour dealing range equilibrium level. So we're returning to a higher time frame discount when the institutional order flow on the higher time frame has been bullish. So we really want to watch what price does here. And this is the type of reaction you want to see after hitting a key reference point that is in line with higher time frame direction. We hit this equilibrium level. Yes, we go a bit beyond it, but look how quick we recover. Quick sell side delivery followed by aggressive buy side recovery. These are trap shorts down here. They're underwater and they're second guessing and in trouble this whole way as price continues to grind up. They're waiting for price to go back down to get out at even. The price is not going to return back down here to give them the opportunity to get out of their positions. It wants to keep them underwater. Okay, again, sell side delivery here, this SIBI with this BISI, balance price range here, balance price range here, and you see us support this upper portion and start to expand away. Okay, the point of these trap shorts is that we're seeing potential turning point and bullish order flow leading into the 1150 macro. And all we're waiting for, if we're looking to try and get involved to target these relative equal highs, is a macro power of 3 setup. You see your macro opening price here. See this gray line right here? That's macro open. Okay. What do we require for a macro power of 3 long setup? We want to see price go below macro opening price. Check. We want to see a sweep of sell side liquidity. Check. We want clear buy side liquidity to target. Check these relative equal highs. We want a high probability PD array as entry. This high probability bullish order block. If you want to learn what constitutes and classifies an order block as high probability, I have that within Discord. We have multiple ways to identify and classify a high probability order block, and we have multiple ebooks on those. Okay. But you can see this is your entry method, your high probability order block. When we come back down into its high, you're entering here, right? We see these setups day in and day out. And where's your clear invalidation level? Below the swing low, under the high probability bullish order block, targeting the relative equal highs. Very clean order flow here as well, okay? There's gonna be macros that aren't as clean and don't offer a clean setup. And those are the times that you have to objectively remain patient, not feel impulsive, not feel that the market's going to move without you, and remind yourself that this macro or this trading session in general is not your only and last opportunity. Okay? At some point, there's going to be great setups during these macro windows. You just have to be patient. Okay? As always, thank you guys for coming back to another video. Thank you guys for supporting me. I love how you guys enjoy the videos. I'm going to keep trying to push out reviews for you guys, push out ways, trying to be a good mentor, trying to show you guys simple ways to understand these concepts. I know that there are so many concepts, that ICT teaches, and God bless him. And our goal is to understand the advanced signatures, but to internalize them and utilize them in as simple a way as possible. Okay, if you want to join our free Discord, that is in the link in the description. If you want to join our private group, okay, for daily calls, daily streams, daily study material, my trade executions, etc., that link is in the description as well. And we're doing right now a 15-week mentorship program. Okay, the seats are still open. You can join late. We're only 2 weeks in. Okay, every session up until now is recorded, so you're not missing anything. You'll be able to go back and review. And again, that is the link in the description. As always, if you guys have any comments on this video, any suggestions, any topics that you guys want to see that you're struggling with, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that, yada, yada, yada. I love you guys, and more videos to come. See you guys.